Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's Dan Bardell again here, again in a backwards cap, which I know some of you enjoy. Oh, wait there, phone call. Hello. Hello, Matt Lynch. What? You can't do the preview show again? But mate, that's the second show running. You know it's a tough gig doing it on your own. I know you're not verified and I am, but it doesn't mean you don't need to turn up to the preview shows, mate. Alright, go and practice penalties. Yeah, no Matt, again, very disappointing because as I say, it's a tough gig doing the preview show on your own, but Villa are rocking up to Cardiff on Saturday to face Neil Warnock's side. Cardiff got off to a good start with a 1-0 win away at Burton, and they also won midweek in the Cup. But obviously Villa are coming off the back of a 2-1 victory away at Colchester as well, so hopefully we've managed to gain a bit of momentum and a bit of confidence from that game as well. I watched Steve Bruce's press conference this morning hoping to learn something, but to be honest, I didn't really learn much that I didn't already know, so not many tidbits from that to say in this preview show, but I'll go along with what he says in the fact that I think this is as tough a game as we could have at this stage away from home. I think Cardiff are a very, very good outfit, and I actually think, again, like Hull, they'll be closer to the top six than people think. They've got a very workman-like side, very dirty side. You know what you're going to get with a Neil Warnock team. We saw it last season where we got kicked off the park and lost 1-0 away from home, and I think it's going to be a similar cagey tight game this weekend, as most games with Villa seem to be over the last few months of last season and going into this season as well. I do think we've got a chance of a win though. They've got Zahora up front, and they've got Joe Bennett obviously on the flanks, who we know very well from his time at Villa, but they've got no world beaters in the side. I don't see that they've got many game changers, so I think that we obviously have got a couple of game changers in our side. If Gabby's on form like he was against Hull, Scott Hogan, we've got the goal scorers, we've got people who can do them damage, so I'm hoping that if we catch them on an off day we might manage to get something from the game. But I do think, as I said, this is as hard as it comes in the Championship away from home there. Scott Hogan, as I've just mentioned, will obviously be buzzing to get off the mark. It's good for us that he got off the mark early. Okay, it was a scrappy goal, but just the fact that the ball's gone in the back of the net will give him some confidence, because I think he was very, very good against Hull, and I think his movement and the way he plays the game on the break, potentially, if we're going to sit back a bit more in this one as it is an away game, then I think he could be quite dangerous on the break. And obviously with Gabby and El Mohammadi on the flanks as well, there's some pace there. So if we are to play on the counter-attack, as I imagine we will in this game, I think we could pose Cardiff some real problems. Obviously Leandro Bacuna started the last game, and it looks like he's off to Reading now. I mean, obviously some fans will be pleased with that, some fans won't, but I think it's probably a good move for the player, because I think his relationship with the fans has turned sour again, and sometimes in situations like that there's no turning back. I'd expect Villa to line up with Sam Johnston in goal, a back four of Hutton, Terry, Chester and Neil Taylor again. That's our back four. That's going to be our back four for the foreseeable in my eyes. I think Lansbury will move back from the number 10 role to go holding with Glenn Whelan. I then think you'll have El Mohammadi, Onamua and Gabby on the left flank, and then just in front of them I think it will be Scott Hogan leading the line, as I've just discussed. I really need to learn how to say the lad from Spurs' name, so I'm just going to call him Josh for now again. The lad did well on Wednesday. He reminded me a bit of Fabian Delph. He could carry the ball, he had a good range of passing, and he was very, very calm as well for someone so young, because they weren't easy conditions to play in at all. So I feel he'll come in and take Bacuna's berth and maybe give us a bit more than Bacuna gave us, because he did have a rotten game against Hull. There's no way of dressing that up. It looks like Andre Green's out, so options from the bench are going to be slightly limited compared to the whole game, but it's a good chance to probably have Callum O'Hare in the 18. Obviously he put in arguably a man of the match display against Colchester on Wednesday night, and just having someone like that who can come on, fresh face, change the game, fresh legs, because he works very hard for a number 10. I think he's a good option to have on the bench, and I know Bruce was very, very pleased with what he saw on Wednesday, so he's really started to claim now, so I would expect to see him in the 18, and I definitely expect to see him come off the bench at some point, especially if we're struggling or maybe if we go behind in this game. Remember, you can join our fan score league still. The code will be up on the screen now. Okay, you'll be a week behind, but it won't take much to catch up with the likes of Matt and myself, because I don't think we've got off to a very, very good start at all. So remember, you can do all the jazz. You can predict your lineup, you predict the score, half-time score and all that. Predictions wise, I'm going to go for a cagey 0-0 this week. I hope it's not 0-0, obviously I always want Villa to win, but I just think there won't be many goals in this game. I don't see Cardiff as being a free-flowing side that's going to score many goals. I think they're like us, they'll win a few games 1-0 here and there, so I can see us just cancelling each other out and it being a 0-0 cagey affair, so I'm going to go with that for my fan score prediction, which is very, very boring and dull. Neil Taylor's an interesting one for this game, because obviously I don't think he's going to get a very good reception from the Cardiff fans, being a former Swansea man, and I thought it was notable that he was actually taking set pieces in the whole game. So I'd like to see him get forward a bit more, because I think he's someone we can really utilise. Obviously Amavi's gone now, and he was going forward probably the better of the two left backs, but Neil Taylor's very, very adept defensively and far superior to Amavi defensively. But I'd like to see a bit more going forward from him and Hutton. I thought both of them against Hull didn't get forward as much as they should have done. Hutton, who usually does, to be fair, bomb forward, he seemed a bit more restrained in what he was doing, but fair play to him. He picked up the Man of the Match awards. That shows what I know about him. But I just think Neil Taylor can be key for us this season, because we looked a much better defensive unit when he was in the team last season. When he was out, we looked all at sea at the back in the second half of the season. But I'd just like to see a little bit more from him going forward. But for me, he's our key man against Cardiff on Saturday, so he's the one I'm looking at and pointing out. Apologies for it again being a very, very brief preview. It's a tough job doing a match preview on your own, because there's only so much you can say without knowing exactly what the teams are going to be, etc. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then make sure you give it a like down below, comment below with your predictions, and don't forget to get your fan score predictions in as well. For those who are fantasy Premier League enthusiasts, we have actually started the Villa View Championship League in the fantasy football. So all you have to do is go on premierleague.com. The code will be up on the screen now, and you can join the Villa View Fantasy League. Don't forget to check out our content that we've had through the last week or so. Remember, the Keith Wyness interview did go up a week ago, but still a very relevant watch, and we learned some things that we did not know about Aston Villa during that interview. Safe trip for all the wonderful Villa fans that are making the trip to Cardiff. Our away support is immense, and I think we've actually sold more tickets this Saturday than we did even for this Cardiff fixture last season. So the away support just keeps getting better and better, and I salute every one of you and wish you safe travels. Stick with the Villa, stick with the Villa View, up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.